Mike's Daily Podcast.
FF episode 916. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley at the last place on earth. Today, we hear from Madame Rutabaga, Valentino, Bison Bentley, and I speak to the beautiful, wonderful, talented singer-songwriter, world traveler, Natalie Gelman. But no Haley today.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I guess sometimes we can't always be together, come what may.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And I've heard a couple things lately that have exploded the inside of my brain. Yeah, the inside of my head when I heard something that was incomprehensibly said. Like, about the Beatles. John Lennon,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
cheated on his wife, so the Beatles stink.
Mike's
That's why
Daily
I write these lyrics out
Podcast
ahead of time. Yes.
Yeah.
Haley doesn't like John Lennon because he cheated on his wife, Yoko Ono. Or was it the one before that? So I found that fascinating because we all have reasons why we don't like certain, bands or movies. We may not like a movie because it takes place in the desert and we don't like desert movies. Ooh, I particularly dislike movies that have to do with breaking out of prisons. Or movies that take place in like a confined space. I don't like those kind of movies. But I did hear an interesting opinion the other day from someone that said that they don't like dogs because dogs give you their trust and their admiration too willingly, too easily, and that is a sign of weakness. So that's why this guy didn't like dogs. Whatever. I don't get that. Some people's opinions, I don't understand. It's almost as if they have the opinion, they think they've thought it out, but they really have not. Which is about 90% of what you've heard on this show from me. Look who just walked in. Hello, Michael Matthews. This is Madame Rutabaga, and all of my opinions make perfect sense. They do? Like what? Like, I believe that bald-headed men are the devil. All bald-headed men are the devil? That's right, Michael Matthews. You're all the devil. Okay, I'm not the devil. I was born not of flame and evil. I was born of a nice lady named Krista. Michael Matthews, that is so sweet. Thank you. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we don't understand what this problem is you have with people's opinions there.
Yeah, my opinions are perfectly sound. Like I should say, do you know that at the end of every sentence? I say, do you know that? Yeah, I don't know if that's a good opinion. Well, we're going to talk to the wonderful Natalie Gelman next. For all you people that are like, hey, I'm listening to the show, waiting to hear the interview with Natalie Gelman. Well, she's going to be coming up in just a moment. I just have to plug my website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. It's a wonderful place, full of all kinds of things like the links to where to listen to the show on a myriad of platforms. If your name is Myriad, I'd love to meet you. And you can also comment on the show. You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, and you can comment on just about everywhere we are. You can find all those places. It includes the Facebook, the Twitter, the Yelp, the Tumblr. We're on Spreaker and SoundCloud and Stitcher and on Rudolph, on Vixen, on Platypus. All those places you can find at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email and your comment, not so comments, which we will do that segment at some point someday when we get an actual comment. I'm looking forward to that. But you know what? We'd love to hear your opinions, as strange as they may be. So all that can be found at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com if you'd like to support the show and all the wonderful people that I get to interview, which you can hear all those interviews at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com, as well as see the daily podcast picture. Please go to the link to Amazon. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, like I heard someone buys the really cheapy headphones, the earbuds, at like 69 cents each. He found that place through Amazon. If you're going to buy any of that stuff through Amazon, go through that link at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com first, and then we get a little bit of support from that. Also, if you'd like to contribute to the PayPal and become an inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster, you can do that at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. You'll get a special MP3 for thee from all of the characters here at Cafe Anyway. And anyway, let's get to our interview with Natalie Gelman.
Into an interview.
Natalie, I'm so excited to talk to you.
Aw, thank you.
You got great,
feel it. It's fun.
awesome music. Great music
Thank
that you
you.
make. And
Thanks so much.
You have a fantastic story, history of performing and stuff that you've done. It's interesting. I was looking at some of your videos on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff up there.
You've performed everywhere. You've performed on a plane.
I have.
What on earth or not on earth was that like? Above the earth.
Well, it was so early in the morning when it happened, too. At that point in my life, in my touring life, had been touring so much that I think every third day I was flying somewhere for about 3 months or 4 months of a stretch at that point.
Oh,
and
my.
It's the kind of thing when you get on a guitar, it's always a source of conversation, to put it nicely, with the stewardesses and stewards. Usually I'm fighting to get my guitar on board, but sometimes people are music friendly and they get it that a guitar shouldn't go underneath. And so I would have them always joke, oh yeah, there's totally room, as long as you play for us. And no one would ever have me actually play music for them on the flight. And so the last time it happened, it was kind of a funny thing. The story goes back a little bit. I was at a conference in the Ozarks in Arkansas, and leaving the festival in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, I had an accident involving a street lamp falling away from my rental car, but tapping a street lamp. And a street
lamp fell away from your rental car?
Away from my rental car, yeah. It did nothing to the car except put like the tiniest dent in the license plate. And I was barely a driver. Like, I'm from New York City, and so I didn't start driving till pretty late in life. And I think that was one of the first times I'd rented a car, and I ran inside and told, like, the sound guy was also doubling up as the security that night. So I ran in, and I'm like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I hadn't had anything to drink or anything. I was just like overly tired and on some kind of national forest that happened to have this like utility street light in the middle of the road.
Oh.
On the side of the road, but I went off road without knowing it as I was, picking up the thing that had fallen, the GPS. And I had my foot on the brake, but I guess it wasn't on brake enough. And anyway, so I had tapped that, and I made my way to the airport, and the guy who was the sound guy had looked at the car, and he was like, I wouldn't even tell the rental car company if it's like that thing. I'm like, okay, I won't, but I'm thinking they're going to come for me. They're going to know, And on my first flight, it was just like a little, I forget what they call them, a frog jumper, I think. It was like,
oh yeah,
yeah, just somewhere near the Ozarks to Memphis or something like that, like a 7 flight. And they bumped me up to first class, which never happened. And so they called my name over the intercom, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the rental car company knows. And it's like a 6 a.m. flight, and they had just bumped me up to first class. And I'm like, oh, that's cool for this little 17-minute flight. And then I'm getting on my next plane, and on the first one, there was like absolutely no way that my guitar was going to fit. So I think it went in the gate-checked baggage, and then I got it right back right away. Oh. Which still makes me nervous,
Yeah.
And then the second flight, I was just so spent from how hectic that whole morning was, and I was going home. I wasn't going to a show. So I just handed over my guitar. I didn't even want to put up a fight with the stewards and try to get it on board at all. And so I put it down at the end of the jet bridge, and I get on my flight, and I go and I sit down, and I hear over the intercom, well, the passenger who left their flight at the front of the aircraft, or on the jet bridge, please come to the front of the aircraft. Like, the rental car company knows.
You're still worried about
thinking,
yeah.
I'm still worried. I'm a worrywart. But, so I went up front, and the guy said, under the plane is no place for a guitar. I'm bringing it on board, but you have to sing for us. And I just joked with him, and I said, you know what? You guys always say that, and it never happens. So I dare you to actually make it happen.
Right.
And I think he took me up on the challenge. Once we were up in the air, they came around with everyone's coffee and everyone's refreshments and stuff. And he said, all right, how do you want to do this? Do you want to just sing in the aisle? Should I have you over the intercom thing? And that's what we did. He kind of holds up the intercom to my mouth and sort of a little bit low for my guitar to reach it a bit too. And it was funny. I had someone film it who had been sitting across from me, and it's so early. Everyone's either sleeping or just waking up. And I said to him, a few minutes into the flight, he was playing this video game with the sound turned way up, and I leaned over and I was like, can you turn the sound down on your phone, on your game? And then 20 minutes later, I lean over, I'm like, hey, so I'm going to actually sing right now on this flight, and I think you're really good with technology. Can you film this for me?
And you remember how I was telling you to be quiet? Now I'm going to sing really loud, and I'm going to make sure that,
It's totally not, sweet at all. But I think there was only one person who was upset about it, who was legitimately trying to sleep and was a bit of a Scrooge getting off the flight. But everyone was like, how do I get your CD? And
how did you decide on that song?
Because that had happened that morning with Crashing into the Street Lamp, and it was going to be the title, I thought, of my new CD. So I just thought, I'll just play this one, the Street Lamp Musician song. After the whole fiasco that morning with the Street Lamp, I thought it was appropriate.
That makes total sense, and that is the name of your album, Street Lamp Musician.
It is, yeah.
And I was going to play Most the While off of it.
Yeah, that's the single from that CD, so that'd be perfect.
And the video is stunning. Your green dress is absolutely beautiful. It is. It's so beautifully filmed. Where are you at in this video?
I'm actually in Ojai and around the Los Padres National Forest in there. And, a friend of ours has a great property that looks out over Ojai. So it's kind of the view from Meditation Mountain, if anyone's ever been there.
I've never seen Ojai look that green. In the video, it's so green.
Oh, gosh, so that was probably done. We had it gets a little bit like Ireland when you have even just a couple days rain, and I think that it was done after we had a couple days rain and within the 2 weeks after that. Because everything kind of comes up all at once.
Yeah.
And then slowly goes away. Yeah.
That was a perfect time to do it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was done. Gosh, I don't know when that came out exactly, but it was. I remember there was rain, and I'm always kind of conscious of that with certain spots that I like. There's a spot with a video that's up on YouTube for Coldplay's Yellow song, and there's a spot in Ojai that's always all the mustard blooms. And before they have to come in and cut it all down, it's just this gorgeous field of yellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
People, if they don't know, because this is a podcast, obviously everyone all over the world can access it. So if you're on some opposite part of the globe, Ojai is in California near Ventura, north of LA, about an hour. And Ojai, if you've ever seen Easy A, with Emma Stone. It perfectly shows you Ojai. I had already moved away from Ventura, but like to see Ojai represented in that movie, I was like laughing because they got Nordhoff High School and everything. It's hilarious, but very beautiful place.
Yeah, I'm so happy I ended up there. So really fortunate.
And then and you've got like the cameras catching the sunset, and and then you have this the guitar. Is that the guitar that you played on the plane?
No, I think I still had my Gibson back when I played on the plane.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that guitar. Oh no, that guitar didn't come with me to Europe on this past trip. Yeah, I play Guild now. I'm a fan of I'm in the video. I'm playing a semi-jumbo, and that's what I love. Yeah.
And I bet you're like really careful walking around in nature with your guitar.
You know, I think I actually got water in the pickup from that shoot. Because you'll see if people go and watch it, there's spots where I'm like the back of me was getting totally wet from the waterfall. Oh yeah,
there's that waterfall with the moss. Yeah,
and so that's what got a bit of water in my guitar, I think. But I don't know, it's the price for your music career, I guess.
And that was also in Ojai. That I didn't even know there were waterfalls in Ojai.
It's up in the far, like up the 150 further. But yeah.
It almost like had a Hawaiian feel, that spot.
It does. Yeah.
And what inspired the song Most of the While?
Well, I wrote that song. I used to, when I was touring so much, like when that happened on the airplane, I just was taking for granted how important performing is for my sanity, self, spirit, I don't know. And so I had been performing a ton, and then came home, which home was New York City at the time. That's where I was born and raised. And I was back home and hadn't played in a while. And I was street performing at an early age in the subways as well. But for some reason, I think there was a point where I sort of stopped street performing and thought that I was beyond that, I guess. And it was still a hustle. I didn't have a permit from the MTA with like assigned spots and whatnot. And so in these almost like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks that I went without performing, I was getting very like irritable, and I guess it's like I still experience it sometimes when you're so on the go with touring and being on the road, and you come home and it's like, you know, real world shock. But it's also like there's something about connecting with people, and what I do continually like renews my faith in humanity for all of the stories that people share with me when I'm on the road and all of that stuff. And so I need time to recover and take time for myself when I come home from a major tour, but not that much time. And so I wrote that song one night just from a place of like how much it means to me to be able to make music and tour and share and have these connections with people. And so it's really the whole I Need You Most a While. It's really to the fans, to the listeners, and to honor that relationship.
Wow.
I know it comes across as a bit of a love song, I bet.
You missed us.
I do.
Wow. Well, your fans miss you too. So that's a beautiful love song to your fans.
Pack up my nerve, keep on walking on my way, keep on breathing one more day, because you said so. What can I sing? Something that will sway the crowd, something real slow, real loud. You let me break my heart before you'll ever tell me that you love me. And I need like a June bride needs the rain, like my heart needs to beat, like the rhythm needs my feet. Come down easy for a while, see if you can make me smile. It's been hard to keep on going, 'cause I need you most the while. All of these words could just sit here on the page, or I'll use them all up in a rage. Well, I try to get you to listen. What's in a note? What's in all the notes in the world? Besides broken hearts of all young boys and girls who strummed away their dreams until they had none. And I need you like the rainbow needs the sky, like a hello needs goodbye, like a song needs your ears, like the music needs your tears. But it goes down easy for a while I sing to make you smile. And it's hard to keep on going, 'cause I need you most the while. Oh, I feel so small, I feel way down. It's the same lost faces, but a different town. You lift me up, then you walk away. All I'm trying to say is I need you like the stars need the night, like the shadows need the light, and my life needs the pain, 'cause I want you to know my name. But it goes down easy for a while as I sing to make you smile. And it's hard to keep on going, 'cause I need you most a while. But I go down easy for a while I try and try and try to make you smile. And it's so hard to keep on going, but I need you most the while.
Great song, beautiful video to that song, and that is Natalie Gelman as we go outside a Cafe Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Next show, we will bring you part 2 of my Into an Interview with Natalie Gelman. Here's some more great music from her. Ask her some more interesting, uncomfortable questions. Plus, if you want to see a picture of her, I'm going to be featuring a picture of her every day that I post a podcast picture for our interview. So for the next, we have 3 segments to our interview, so you'll see 3 different pictures of her, and they'll all be there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Michael Matthew, why don't you show a bunch of pictures of me? Ooh. They can see a picture of you. Actually, we did a cartoon with you recently, didn't we? So there's all that is at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. I like to wear terracotta yellow. Ooh. I think that's the name of the color, I guess. Why would you want to know what the name is of the color of the dress that I wear? Because you came up with the name of the color of your dress just off the top of your head like that. Yes, Micromaster, I don't understand. Me neither. But I won't bother to explain, because we gotta go. Next show, part 2 of my intern interview with the lovely Natalie Gelman, and we will hear from Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer, perhaps even Haley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!